Welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-host, Mr. Javier Perez and Mr. Chris Ochoa. Today, we're going to talk to the leadership of the Houston Hispanic Forum. But before we do that, let's talk some politics. Now, guys, we might have a new candidate.
Is that the first thing we didn't want to talk about?
I think that's the first thing.
Ben goes off again, man.
We're going to talk about Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden running for president against Hillary Clinton. And there's other candidates I'm sure they're going to jump in by the time it's all said and done. But realistically, how much support does Biden get over Hillary Clinton?
Just look at the polls from 2008, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he'll just be in it just to make it interesting, but
yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to stop
Obviously, Hillary has a jump on him. She started a long time ago. Even though she wasn't official back in the day, she pretty much made it well known that she was going to run for president. So just the fact that the Vice President Biden is now going to come onto the scene, I think it'll make it interesting money-wise because, as you know, anytime you are holding an office, you're going to have some money flow. Mm-hmm. But then again, you have Clinton with millions, and I'm talking about millions of dollars through their nonprofit and their PAC, not to mention the campaign monies. So it'll be interesting how the money flows.
Yeah, I mean, Biden, one thing he does have, I guess, on Hillary is that he's been a little closer, I guess, with the president. I mean, she's kind of a little bit more separated with the State Department versus being the actual office of the vice president. But let's look at this historically, right? I mean, when has a vice president ever become president unless there was a death or some vote out by, repeal? So, I'm not certain if Biden is doing it for notoriety or what he's doing it for. I don't know what his motivation are.
George Bush followed Reagan.
Well, that's true. But let's put this into context here. Who is President Obama going to support on this? He's his right-hand man, which is Joe Biden, or his former Secretary of State. Not to mention that she's married to the former president.
You know, Obama's endorsement does have a heavy weigh-in on this election. My guess is he's not going to endorse until candidates start weeding their own selves out, and once it's probably Hillary and whoever. I mean, you have to give Biden some room to either hang himself with, some rope to hang himself with, or see how he fares. I mean, the election's coming up, but I anticipate that Obama would probably not do an endorsement anytime soon, and then really consider what the party itself is looking for him to do.
Speaking of party, the Republican Party has, about 200 candidates now? Last count was 17, I believe. I heard Javier Perez was going to throw his hat in the ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I'm the Tea Party candidate.
This Javier Perez? This one?
No, I will tell you that the Republicans are going to have a hard time amongst themselves. With that many candidates, I mean, if you look at the debates, they couldn't even fit all on one stage, so they're going to have to do them in pieces.
Oh, wow.
All right? So according to the polls, they're going to have the top 10 that are actually going to participate in these debates. And so they're going to be cutting up each other. So it'll be interesting to see what happens then.
Yeah. I will say I haven't been paying too much attention to the debates. I've been out on vacation or not debates.
Well, they haven't had one yet, right?
The political scene, right. But I did see on CNN that Trump was apparently leading some poll.
He's still leading.
And to me, just my own analysis on public opinion, I think the public is tired of rhetoric, is tired of politics as usual, and really is tired of those career politicians that have risen up in rank. And Donald Trump is not only popular from his "you're fired," what is it, the Apprentice. He has that popularity. He's a businessman, and he's really just kind of saying things like he feels, and apparently the popular vote is supporting him.
It's going to be real interesting seeing that ride because he can't get we get the nomination. It'd be nuts. It'd be nuts. Clinton versus Donald Trump. Oh my goodness.
Well, the sleeping giant we always talk about, right? Is the Latino population here, in the United States. The thing that I was talking to a colleague about during lunch when I saw this on CNN, I was like, man, how is it that Trump, with all of the derogatory comments or just comments he's making on immigration, and a lot of Latinos, if you talk to a Latino, someone close to you, you might say, hey, what do you think about Trump? They'll be, whatever, and something in Spanish, I don't know. But either way, what the interesting game changer would be is if Donald Trump had a Latino as a running mate. That would be interesting. Because there you have, a divide between the Latino communities. Like, wow, you have a Latino running mate, maybe Ted Cruz, maybe Rubio, who knows? But then at the same time, you've got Clinton that may perhaps have a Latino running mate as well in
like Castro.
The Castro or, someone else. So what happens to the Latino vote on a bigger, grander scale? You see that a lot in local politics. You have a Latino run against a Latino and then it splits the votes.
Good point.
It's going to be interesting to see, man.
Okay, let me change this topic totally. Texans football. Talking about the season coming up.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're going to have San Francisco 49ers come to town. And actually, the first game of the season is right around the corner. So football season is pretty much here with the preseason. And I will tell you that it's all about J.J. Watt.
Oh, man. If there's a poll, I would have to say he's probably leading the poll for the most famous, likable player in the NFL right now.
He can run for president.
He'll be in the movies. He'll be in the movies for too long.
Well, and then also
Schwarzenegger, huh?
They have what's that training camp? Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
I don't have HBO, or Showtime. I don't know what it's on, but Hard Knocks is that series that highlights the training camp for.
Matter of fact, they've already started. They've already started following them. So.
That's going to be interesting to watch. I need to probably just YouTube it or something because I don't have, like I said, HBO.
Me too. My wife don't let me have an HBO.
All right.
And HBO.
And
HBO.
And we can't forget Houston Astros.
Man, the Astros, isn't that great?
First place. I think they're 4 games ahead of everybody else.
The pitcher was voted by the American League
Dallas
pitcher of the month.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see baseball, back where it should be here in Houston. I mean, my fondest memories are just, sitting by the radio, listen to games.
It's great.
So, and my son, who is going to Reagan, is on the baseball team, is incoming freshman. Oh, he can't get enough of it. He can't get enough of it. So it's great to see. I'll tell you one thing, man. I remember some of my best days when I was growing up a kid. You wake up, eat breakfast, you go out to the ball field, and you play all day long. 3 o'clock, had a break. I don't know if you guys remember, Speed Racer came on at 3 o'clock. Yeah, had to go see Speed Racer.
Kind of like Speed Bump, huh?
Syndicated Speed Racer for me. Keeping it with sports, so did you guys hear about Harden? James Harden getting the
big money.
$222 million deal with Adidas. And
for how many years is that?
I don't know the specifics. I just saw the $222 million behind it. I was like, wow. Well deserved. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's the beard.
Man, anything these guys can make on the side, I think it's fantastic. They sacrifice their bodies for their sport, and it's great to see that they're able to cash in on it.
I'm just happy to see Houston on the map again, really.
So let's talk about an event that's happening Wednesday. We have the White House Initiative, as you all know. The leadership of the White House Initiative is coming to town Wednesday. They're coming to your facility.
Initiative for Excellence in Education for
Hispanics.
Yeah.
So Javier is the director of Talento Bilingüe de Houston, and they're going to be using his facility to announce the big winner. So there's going to be 10
red carpet.
There's going to be 10 organizations that are going to be represented, and the White House Initiative leadership is going to tell us which ones they're going to partner up with. Mm-hmm. So this is big news for a lot of folks, and that is why we are here with the Houston Hispanic Forum, and we have the leadership. We have Linda. Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us. And Mr. Danny Contreras. Danny, by the way, Danny and I went to school way back in the day in high school together in the Valley.
Yeah. Danny said he used to take your lunch money, right?
He used to take my lunch money. He used to beat me up, take my lunch money, spit on me. Then he woke up. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
So you are the executive director?
Yes, I am. Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the White House Initiative because we are nominees. We haven't been selected yet, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that we get selected as well. I think it's a fantastic cause, and it's good that they're coming to Houston to highlight some organizations to celebrate excellence in the Hispanic community.
So let's elaborate a little bit, if you will, on the White House initiative. So you had all these organizations across the country, by the way. They submitted a proposal of what they wanted to do for the next coming years. So your proposal was what?
So our proposal is to increase the number of participants at our annual event, which is Career and Education Day.
At the George R. Brown.
Correct. So we have been hovering around 12,000, 12 to 15,000, and our commitment is to increase those numbers by 10% each year for the next 5 years.
Okay, so how do you do that? What's the trick?
So the trick is we need a fantastic media committee that will help us promote and get the word out. Also, we are talking about how we can get people to the George R. Brown for free. So we're
Metro or?
Yes,
okay.
yes, and I think that would be huge for us. And then also we're going to continue working with counselors and penetrating the schools and talking to the parents directly about the value of Career and Education Day.
Okay, so before we get started with questions, let's talk a little bit about the history of the Houston Hispanic Forum. Now, I remember back in the day, it was a popular thing to do. I mean, if you wanted the information on colleges or any other programs, that was the place to be. So let's back up a little bit and let's start from the history when you were first founded, and then we'll progress from there.
Okay. Well, we just celebrated our 30th anniversary, so we have been around, thank you, we've been around for 30 years, and our founders are still very involved. Our founders, when they got together 30 years ago, they were a group of prominent Hispanic leaders in the community, lawyers, doctors, that talked about, you know, how can we encourage Hispanics to get ahead. And then just shortly after that is when Career and Education Day was born. And we're very lucky that our founders, like I said, are still very involved. There's not a week that goes by that I'm not checking in with them and asking for advice. And because what we're not interested in just recreating, we're interested in moving the needle.
So Career and Education Day, Linda, is that the kind of the big event that the Hispanic Forum puts on, and that's like a one-time-a-year deal that you guys raise funds for, promote? Interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It is. It's our premier event that we do, and it requires 12,000 volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm one of the staff members, and there's another staff member, and then we have a fantastic board of directors. We have 12 people that help us. And there is not a day that I don't talk to Danny at least 4 or 5 times a day.
Very cool.
That's good. You got to have volunteers. I mean, that's the backbone to any nonprofit. Actually, you had many volunteers at TBH, right?
TBH and NHPO.
They keep you in line?
Well, yeah. Kind of.
That's good. That's good. So let's talk about volunteers in your office. So do you actually have full-time volunteers that just come on a daily basis?
Well, we do have volunteers that come in periodically, but really we need volunteers to serve as leaders for this event. So we have volunteers that take on big parts of the event, like maybe the career panels. And I mean, it's a big responsibility, and it's amazing to me how people commit to doing it, and as soon as Career and Education Day is over, they can't wait to start over. We survey, we find out what we can do better, and they're ready to jump back in. So it's really inspiring.
That tells me a lot about the culture of the event. You know, culture is so important, especially when you're trying to communicate that message out to the masses in this media possibility for you guys. So how are you currently doing that right now? How are you relaying that culture out, or getting more volunteers recruited? Is it more of a word of mouth deal at this point?
Well, up to this point, the event has always been free. It will continue being free, but for the first time in our history, we required every single participant to register. So we know exactly who the volunteers are. We know who the parents are. We know who the kids are. We know where they come from. And so that is power. Not only does it help us report out to our stakeholders, but it really helps us create something that's impactful. And so now we can communicate and we can target our messaging to each of those constituents.
Couldn't agree more.
So what is the event, what does it contain, or how does it work, and where do they need to register?
Yeah, so the bulk of the event are career panels. So in 2015, our event was in February. we had 52 career panels, and this year we organized the career panels according to House Bill 5 endorsements, because there's this whole mystery about what that means. And so to give the kids an opportunity and parents an opportunity to see, well, what does STEM look like? Well, STEM could be a career in the medical field, but it could be a welder, and it could be anything in between. And so that's the bulk of our event. And then we have an exhibit hall where colleges and universities are there talking to the students and the families about the kind of education that they need in order to have these fulfilling jobs. And we know that funding is an issue with at-risk families, and so we have an admission and financial plaza.
Awesome.
And we have tons of counselors on hand to talk to parents, and a lot of it happens organically because everybody has a different situation. And so we set up roundtables where the parents can ask specific questions. Neighborhood Centers is there to help with tax preparations, and then we have computers on site so that the students can complete their FAFSA.
That's great.
Well, that sounds like a really, really intricate event that you're pulling on. I mean, a lot of technical things happening there.
And there's some other moving parts too.
The counselor track, one of the things that Linda started this year was getting the counselor track, and HISD was very instrumental in putting that curriculum together. And some of the feedback we got from the counselors was unbelievable. I mean, they were begging for more content, and I had some counselors coming from Kingwood and from all over outside of HISD that were just amazed by, obviously, the information that we were providing them. The parent track, really, we got some great feedback also on the parent track. A lot of parents, aren't sure of what questions or what the questions should even be. And so what we decided to come up with a nice little intimate, safe environment so the parents can feel comfortable interacting with college admission counselors, financial aid administrators. So it's been a very eye-opening experience for counselors, teachers, and parents as well. So we know we got to engage the parents. That's been a big focus for us. We got to get the parents more comfortable with the process, obviously giving them the tools to help their students, their children out. So that's been I've been really proud of the parent track and the counselor track.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we submitted, NHPO Leadership Institute submitted also to the White House Initiative as well, did Talento Bilingüe de Houston. So let me explain to you what we submitted. So maybe there's some kind of partnership.
That'd be great.
Now, the NHPO Leadership Institute already exists. And what we do is we provide basically professional development courses, 10 to be exact, every other Saturday for professionals. And this has been going on since 2009. So now we have a new track that we're starting. It's called the Youth Leadership Institute.
Wow.
So the Youth Leadership Institute focuses on juniors and seniors in high school. And what it is, it's the same concept. It's professional development classes, but at the same time, we take them to different universities, like UT in Austin. We take them to Texas A&M, et cetera, et cetera. Now, most students that take a tour of a campus, they usually stay in town. But we want to go outside of town. Mm-hmm. We want to include also the big schools here, like Rice University, because very few people go to Rice or the St. Thomas's of the world, right? And so we want them to be exposed. So in addition to the students, the parents have to be involved. So it's one student, one parent, and you have 25 students per school. And the first year, there's going to be 2 schools, Austin High School and the Tejano Center, Raúl Seguire for Success. What is it? Raúl Seguire School for Success. Mm-hmm. Right. And so those are the first 2. Then every other year, we're going to add 2 schools. For the second year, there'll be 4 high schools. So the third year, there'll be 6 high schools, et cetera, et cetera. So when you come to 20 years, I mean, we're talking about some serious schools, 40 schools and all that will hopefully touch. HISD is our partner in this. And so what we hope to create is these kids, we're trying to push them to STEM. So they're also going to get a tour of MD Anderson, NASA.
That's great.
Exactly. And a couple other places. Actually, Public Works, they're going to learn about where the waste goes.
Wastewater treatment.
Wastewater treatment. They don't.
That's fascinating.
A lot of people don't realize what happens behind the scenes.
I don't want to know.
Waste management.
Well, I'm talking about NASA and MD Anderson and the waste program.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So they'll be exposed to STEM careers within that realm. So I work at MD Anderson, by the way. So it would be great to have these students come through the facility and learn not only from these instructors, but the researchers, the students that are actually attending school over there. And there's many, many things they can learn just by observing. So I'm very excited about the opportunity. So NHPO has chapters all over the place. So if this program works out here in Houston, then guess what? We take it.
That's right. Take it on the road.
That's fabulous.
So McAllen is a very big chapter, by the way, of NHPO.
That's great.
Yeah. And they've been around for a long time, since 2004. Yeah. Yeah, so we're excited about the opportunity. Now, Javier submitted, and what do you want to tell us about your initiative?
That's top secret.
I bet it has to do with
Tell me
art.
where you better spill it.
Well, basically, what we try to do was, for one, to bring. We have a four-prong approach to education through the arts, through STEAM. We're trying to put the arts in STEM, which of course would be STEAM. So we did we called our project Proyecto. Wait, let me make sure I got the Educarte, which is educate in Spanish, of course. So
And
Proyecto Educarte is Educarte.
I like that.
Okay. So, and we have a five-pronged approach dealing with film, live theater, music and dance, and training parents. So it's Educa Cine, Educa Música, Educa Teatro, Educa Padres. You know, and actually the proposal itself didn't really ask for the parent component, but it was a natural progression to it to help, you know, these kids. And also get them involved in the arts and do our program bilingually. So actually, we, you know, when we they kind of gave me a phone call because we did ours so well.
Did you write it?
Yes, I wrote it. Me and Valde wrote it.
That's
Matter
good.
of fact, we wrote it, and they said that it was one of the best they've seen.
That's
One of
great.
the best proposals they've seen. So they said it was very rare that a program, they didn't get back to them with modifications. But they were very, very happy with ours. So I think we got to win a program.
Are you sure they just
You're
didn't
in.
do that because they needed a place to host
Our conference room wasn't big enough.
There you go.
No, that's
it was,
awesome, Javier.
It was
Yeah.
really, it was something that we really sat down. You know, and you were in the meetings with us, Ben. And you know, the first thing it kind of took us a while to get rolling. But once we found out what they were looking for, I think we did an excellent job in getting that together.
Talking about meeting the deadline like at 12 o'clock midnight when it's due.
Yeah.
That's Javier for you.
That's how I get
Hey,
the
but
rice.
baby, look,
That's what he does on the show, by the way. Like the show starts at 6 p.m. He's here at 6 p.m. sliding into his seat. Yeah, that's why he gets fired all the time.
Thank you, Ben.
So let's talk about you all a little bit more about the board. Now, I know you said you had 12 board members. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that like the standing number for a reason, or why do you only have 12? I'm surprised that you don't have 30 or 40.
We
because-
could certainly have 25. I think is what our bylaws say. So
Okay.
yeah, I would tell you a couple things. When we thought about the transformation, and Linda was a big part of our transformation, really trying to take the Houston Hispanic Forum to the next level. So we knew we had to have that dynamic executive director, and Linda obviously fits the bill with over 29 years experience in the nonprofit world. But what we thought was really important was also getting a diverse board as well. So a couple of things that we've done in the last 3 years, we've diversified our board. When I first came onto the board, it was obviously full of Latinos, full of Hispanics, and I was very proud of that. But we knew we wanted to be that nonprofit that crossed the boundaries and really tried what we believe. And one of the things that came from our strategic planning was we know what's good for Hispanics is going to be great for Houston overall, and we knew that we needed to diversify the board. So we have diversified the board. We're still working on it. I would tell you, to answer your question, Ben, we were looking for the best and the most dynamic board members, and we think that quality is far more important than quantity. And we have two fine gentlemen over here as well.
I love it. Ben just volunteers everyone.
That's good.
Danny, what about that criteria? So when you were looking at your board members and trying to place the diversity in your board, was it, okay, we need someone from the for-profit, we need someone from the nonprofit, we need someone that fits this mold? How was that process?
That's a great question, and I don't know
Is that top secret?
No. I don't know that we had a foolproof plan on what that looked like, but I would tell you that some of the key points that we were looking for: diversity, not only in different industries, and not only that, but diversity in obviously backgrounds, education. What we were looking for, we're not just an education organization. That's a big part of what we do. When we did our strategic planning, everything that we felt were challenges or obstacles for the Hispanic population, such as health, such as financial literacy, civic engagement, public policy, we all drew back to education as a big challenge for our Hispanic population. So we were looking for people with diverse backgrounds in any one of those, what we call strategic initiatives. So we're looking for everything. You know, we love women, our female board members. We have a very diverse group, educators as well as people in the for-profit world. So, and I don't know if Linda would add anything else on our board, but she gets to work with them on a daily basis as well.
Yeah, and it is a real treat to work with these professionals because they so unselfishly give of their time and talent and resources to help the community. The bottom line is we are here, we have a job, and our job is to enrich the lives of the Hispanic community for the greater good. And we take that job very seriously.
Yeah,
you know, it sounds like your advantage. I mean, it's just, just such a big undertaking. Is there other events that you have, or is this just your major event for the year?
The Career and Education Day is our main event. Well, we started a little bit about our background. We started in the forum business, hence the name of Houston Hispanic Forum. And so our founders really just wanted to address issues. We're apolitical.
Town hall meetings.
Yep,
like
exactly. And we've had all kinds of forums, either around health. There was one forum that David Flores reminds me of. It was, should Latinos be Democrats or Republicans? So, you know, and we're not really out there to try to force a particular agenda. We're trying to raise awareness many times. What I think Linda and I are very proud of is being able to engage and really get people to either think about the issues and then obviously act upon them as well. So I would say the Career and Education Day has been our main event about what we've done this year. We've also had an Español y Arte, and Linda would maybe can talk about some of our strategies around Español y Arte.
So we need to partner with TBH on this. So
Ready?
Español y Arte is an opportunity. It's really a networking event for professionals to practice their Spanish, and it could be at any level. And it's called Arte because we want to have these events around interesting art spaces or
Sounds
art.
like a reception at
I know,
TBH, yeah.
I know.
There you go.
And so really, it's an opportunity for people just to go and hang out, talk about art, and practice their Spanish.
I can already see it sponsored by Danny Contreras.
Perfect.
There you go.
We
There
love
you
it.
go.
We love it.
I think that's a great opportunity.
That's what this show is all about.
We're all for that.
bridging it.
We are all for that. You know, and there isn't a very much better place than TBH to have a reception. We
It's
have
top-notch facility.
It's a great facility. Artwork on the wall. The theater's beautiful. It's a really heck of a place to have a reception. So I'd
It's a
like
nice space.
Let's do this.
Let's
It's a
do it.
deal.
Deal.
Yeah.
Done.
Man, let me shake y'all's hands right here. Let's make it happen.
Just get out of the way, man. Get out of the way.
That's good. So one more question for y'all related to the board. So is there like a term limit? Do they stay on the board for X number of years and then they're booted off, or how does that work? Because I'm trying to get these guys on the board.
Try
Very
to
good.
recruit them.
It is a 3-year term limit.
3 year, okay.
Yes, sir. And,
So-
and we're looking for board members now. So
So where's the application so I can get them to sign?
Well, you know, Ben, we got a whole bunch of great board members coming out of the
That's true. The
Leadership
Leadership
Institute.
The Leadership Institute. We got some, you know, the class 13 is graduating in a couple of weeks.
That's
They
true.
just finished their last session this past Saturday, and these are young professionals that are looking, trying to make a difference in their community. And what better place than Houston?
Yeah, we had Abel Davila
Right.
and Diana Davila. You know Diana Davila.
of course.
They just graduated. So yeah, we
Robert
have some great
Gallegos
folks.
is a former
Gallegos is a
LI
councilman.
It was one of our graduates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had some good folks. Bo Fraga.
Fantastic.
Boulevard.
Bo Fraga, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually ran into this young lady here. I serve on what you would call a leadership panel, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Leadership panel for University of Houston Downtown. They're starting a leadership program. And so we serve
Dr.
on the
Bill,
committee.
yeah.
Dr. Flores is leading the charge. So that's kind of interesting. There's multiple leadership programs within the city, and UH Downtown, obviously there's a need for more, so they're starting one, hopefully soon. So you'll be hearing more about that.
Absolutely. I think that's a great endeavor.
Yeah. So thank you all again
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you again soon so that we can promote.
Can I just
Sure.
plug when the event is?
Sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Totally.
So Career and
excuse
Education
Ben,
Day.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Slap me upside the head, why don't you?
So Career and Education Day 2016 is on February 13th, and it's at the George R. Brown Convention Center. It starts at 9 o'clock and goes till 3 o'clock. And we are looking for volunteers.
Now, is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
And we're looking for volunteers, lead volunteers, and also volunteers to take smaller roles. You
There's
can go
the
to our website.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's our 30th anniversary. So, and 30th event that we're going to be putting on. So we're pretty proud of it. It's obviously a big milestone for us. Middle school students and high school students and parents are all invited.
Great.
Free childcare. We feed everybody.
Yeah, we feed everybody.
Hey,
I got to get my
you're
district
right.
on board.
I'm there,
Where
man.
my hometown district could have really benefited
What
from the
district is that?
Hispanic Forum. Galena Park ISD.
We actually, one of our board members was from Galena Park ISD,
Good,
Crockett DuBose. So yeah, we're very we work very closely with Galena
Good,
Park
good.
ISD, and that was one of the things. When I first came onto the board, I thought it was just a Houston kind of organization, Houston focus. But what I found is we have students coming from Alvin ISD, obviously Galena. I went to go do a visit in Dayton High School the other day. So they're from all over the
You
greater
deal with
Houston
Houston,
area.
you got to deal with the metropolitan.
That's right.
It's one big
just FYI, Chris is a former council member
Okay.
from Jacinto City.
All right.
Yeah, him and his dad actually.
He likes to plug that.
His dad was a council member as well. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
family
It's
tradition,
in the
right?
blood. It's in the
It's in
blood.
the blood.
So the next generation, you're gonna have another council member.
That's right.
Well, we live in Houston now, so we're dreaming bigger.
That's good. Mayor? Yeah.
It's all about contribution. You want to do the right thing for the community, and you guys are obviously doing that with your organization and for the right reasons. So
Thank you.
best of luck. I mean, if there's any way we can help you out,
So
we're
guys,
here
so
as
you are
well.
looking for volunteers for that.
Absolutely,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Sounds like Leadership Institute.
Yeah, I agree.
Put some of the
I
alumni
agree.
together to help for that. I think that's very, very worthwhile cause.
That's fantastic.
So we want to be involved.
What age group are these volunteers?
Well, we have high school kids
Okay.
that join us. We have high school ambassadors that greet and encourage the students to go into the career panels, and then up to
That's awesome because you get hands-on training at
99.
that point, or hands-on experience as a volunteer if you're in
You know,
high
Ben
school.
used to be a Walmart greeter.
Absolutely.
so-
Absolutely. Target, actually.
Target. That's right.
Walmart
Target.
didn't accept my application. That's okay. Well, thank you all again for coming
Thank
out.
you,
We'll
Ben.
Thanks so
see
much,
you again.
and let's see if we can get them back on when we get closer
Soon.
to that.
Yeah, that would be
Crossing our fingers for you guys on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Best of
Thank
luck.
you.
so much. We're looking forward to it.
So we'll be back in 2 minutes. We're going to take a little break. Welcome back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, and now we have Miss Cristina Morales. And Cristina is with the Morales Memorial Foundation.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Cristina.
Thank you for having me.
In case you don't know Cristina, Cristina is the owner of the Morales Funeral Home. And I don't know the address, but I'm going to say it's over there by the old Ninfas.
Yes, it is.
Back in the day, I remember your grandmother
Yes.
used to run Morales Funeral Home, and
Yeah.
we miss her dearly, by the way.
We do.
And Morales comes from a very distinguished family. Now, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but HEC has a building named after your grandfather.
They do. They
That's
do.
correct.
And my
grandmother.
grandmother.
That's
and
right.
your grandmother.
Yes,
okay.
both.
Yeah.
And they used to own a radio station.
Yes.
They were the was it the first Latino-owned radio
It was
station?
the first Spanish language radio station in the entire Gulf Coast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah,
Very
it was
And
really
this was in the 40s, wasn't it?
50s.
The 50s.
1950 is when it
This
started.
was this
Took
was
them
it
10
was
years to get it
Wow.
going.
cool. Okay.
What kind
So-
of music did they play?
Just norteño.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So
Everything, though.
they attributed that coming to the Houston area because I mean
You know what?
Norteño's popping
And-
over here.
And Christina comes from a tradition of service to the community. I mean, her grandparents, were great promoters of Latinos and Hispanic culture
Wow,
here in
that's
town. I mean, they
awesome.
did so much. I mean, not only for for businesses, but for the arts. I mean, you name it. They were there for the community, social societies, all kinds of. It was
Yeah.
great
Just
stuff.
to give you a little history, I ran for office the first time in 1992. I was 20 years old. Miss Morales, your grandmother, was the first person to give me money for my campaign.
Nice.
Really?
She invited me over to her house, and they used to live over there by Lawndale
Right.
in Dismuke. And she said, you need to come over, I'll give you a check. And we sat down for hours. She told me about her whole history, about what was good for the community she was going to support. So it was very interesting, very enlightening to hear your grandmother.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of property back in the day. I don't know if your family still owns all that
No,
property.
we don't. It was too much. Too much to maintain. But
I
yeah.
remember the ranch. Your
Yes.
grandparents took my parents to their ranch.
Yes.
And I still have pictures of it.
Wow.
They're out there in the RV, and they're out there shooting. Mrs. Morales, they were shooting a 22 and rabbits or something like that. It was, it was an amazing place.
Yes.
I remember that.
We do still have
Fantastic
the
people.
ranch.
Oh, you do have it? Oh,
We
that's
kept the
great.
ranch. Actually, the foundation owns it, and that's how we fund the foundation.
Wow.
Is through the ranch.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
let's
So,
talk
yeah.
about the foundation now.
Yes.
So it started when?
It started at her death, basically in 1994, and she wanted to use this foundation to, and she did it after her husband died. She had a few dollars, and she started this thing, and she wanted to help her Latino community. She wanted to empower kids through education. She said it has to be educational, and so that's what we're doing. We're using this money. The oil and gas money has been very good to us. We invested it well, the board members, and so now we have a lot to give. So
That's good.
yes, so
I'm
one
gonna be
event
gi-
we
I'm gonna
did.
be- I want to be giving you a call. We need
Yeah.
some money for what? X, Y, and Z?
Youth leadership.
You know what?
Yes,
And I tell you,
yes.
my hat's off really to Christina and the board at the Morales Foundation, because they continue to serve the Latino community here in town. I mean, they're always there, I mean, they're always looking at ways to help. And Christina, I really appreciate the work you guys do. And you got a great board of directors
We
also.
do, we do.
Some fantastic
And
people
you
over
have an excellent program, and that's why this year we thought it was great to support you in one of your efforts. And
Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see.
yes, so we have a video to show. We do an annual school supply drive. We've done it for 18 years. This is our 18th year. And what we do is we give school supplies to children in the community. And it's really awesome. It's just a way to empower these kids to start school. We give them free haircuts. There's activities. We do a bike raffle. We even have some computers to give away this year.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
we usually do it out in the funeral home parking lot in the middle of summer, and it's super
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
But thank goodness TBH has given us their facility.
Oh,
They've
good.
lent it to us for that morning.
We're going to crank up the AC.
Yes.
Yay.
So it's
By the way,
awesome.
I don't know if I told you, but his AC doesn't work.
Now you
So
tell me.
Bring your fans.
Okay, okay.
He's just kidding, folks. My AC
Oh, my
works
God.
just fine.
But there is a video that we're showing, and what's in the video is how to register and the date and the times, because it's early in the morning.
So here goes the video.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So the video will be shown on TV, I'm assuming?
Well, it's shown on our website.
Yes.
Okay.
It's shown on our website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got to go to
Social media.
www.
We've actually posted it all over social media, and thanks, you know, when you partner with a nice group like
I tell you, I had no idea what we were letting ourselves in for, because my phone has been ringing off the wall.
Just
the
a
last
recommendation.
Okay.
Now, all the major networks, they have to give charitable time to nonprofits. You already have a video made, they could possibly create something for you
Yes.
as a little segment or during their advertisements.
Yes.
Yeah, so just FYI.
But I tell you, it's been seen, because I tell you, we're getting a lot of phone calls, and we're probably getting close to capacity, right?
I think
What
we
is
are.
capacity? Yeah, do you have a set?
1,500.
15.
Wow.
1,500.
In
And
that
we were
facility?
at
Wow.
we were at over 900 last week.
Right.
So now that it's getting down to the day, I'm sure we'll hit the 50.
You know, and we just received the materials today, the backpacks and everything. They just got there, and we're thinking, okay, they'll pull up in a van or two.
Have a Freightliner, huh?
18-wheeler pulls up and offloads like 10 pallets worth of backpacks.
Oh my God.
I was like, holy smokes!
Oh my God.
So what age group are these?
So we help everybody from pre-K all the way to college. I mean, we have kids come up and say, well, I'm going to college, and we give them a pack. But the nice thing about our event is that we give the entire list that HISD requires for the student. A lot of the school supply giveaways, they give some pen and pencils and they call it a school supply giveaway, but we actually, and that's why there's so many boxes, it's a nice large pack with the pencil case and the pencils and protractors and scissors, and I mean everything that HISD requires a child to start school.
I can
And
just
so
see
they're
Javier
ready.
with his backpack.
Yeah.
Already. If you find a couple of them missing, he's using them.
You got anything for a college dropout?
So
You all need to team up with the Houston Hispanic Forum.
we do.
You need to have representatives come so they can speak to the kids.
That's so true. We do have HCC, since we do some things with them.
Yeah.
They are coming, and they're going to give out information for students.
I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yes.
They can get you a speaker there from the Houston Hispanic Forum.
Okay, well, let's do it.
That's good. I think it's a great opportunity for the
So
kids.
tell us, Christina, what all's going to happen? How's the day going to progress on Saturday morning?
On Saturday morning, people start lining up. Well, at the previous place where we did it, they start lining up earlier than 6 a.m. because I get there at 6 and there's already a line started. But at 8 o'clock, right when we start, there's usually a line. People have their little vouchers that we give them that says what grade of school supply they get.
So are these kids selected by the schools?
No, it's a free registration.
No, you got to
for-
register online.
Yes.
Okay.
Register online.
Yes. So once they register, they'll have their voucher. They'll come in and they'll get the supply cord, it'll for whatever grade they need. Once they go through, and the child has to be present to receive their supplies. So we don't have a parent come up and say, well, I need 20 packets of school supplies.
Yeah. That's
the child,
good to know, because I've
yes.
had that. People ask me that.
It's happened,
Yeah.
where it just doesn't work. The kid has to be there. And then once they get their supply, then they're going to be taken into another area where we're going to have haircuts. We're going to try to teach them nutrition this year, which is kind of a new thing we're doing, and give out healthy snacks, not candy and cookies and,
Does popcorn fall in that
I think popcorn's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay, yes, because Valdez said, let's have popcorn.
Yeah, we have a popcorn machine.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna crank that bad boy up.
But we do have like granola bars and stuff.
You're
too.
going to need another AC, 1,500 kids. There'll be a lot of people there.
There is. Yeah, I hope we can all
Are
fit
you
in
going to
there.
be able to utilize the whole center?
Now you got me worried.
We're gonna use the whole thing. We'll
good.
crank them
Yes.
in and out.
Yeah.
Good
Crank
for
them
you.
in and out. Shouldn't be a
Yes.
problem.
So let's talk about the history.
Yes.
Okay, you had mentioned that you all have been doing this for how many years?
18.
18 years.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
obviously it's progressed. You started off how? What was the first one you did?
The first one we did, it was about 300 packages, and it wasn't complete. We went to Kroger and we said, could you give us some bags? And then we filled them up with pens and pencils and paper, and then we gave them out. And then
Gave them to who?
to students in the neighborhood. And my memory fails me, but we just kind of advertised it through some counselors that we had that were working at the funeral home, and they kind of let people know. And we realized what a huge need it was.
Yeah.
And right after we did that, then we reached out to like Ripley House has helped through their members, and different churches, and HISD also gave us a list of some kids to help. But this year it's working out really well with
Just
TV.
kind of steadily.
Yeah, it grew. It went from like 300 to like 500, and then for about the last 10 years or so, it's been 1,200 kids a year, and this year is the first time it's 1,500.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, when you have an 18-wheeler dropping off 10 pallets of backpacks, that's a lot of backpacks.
I was looking. It was funny because the alley's on the side of TBH, and a lot of people don't know what's there. So they opened the door to the kitchen. You can see the alley, and all of a sudden I see a 18-wheeler. What the hell is that?
Oh my gosh.
Where did you store those pallets?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
They're on the stage.
I got some in my office.
Oh my
goodness.
I got some on stage.
Oh
we don't
my
have a
goodness.
performance, but they're everywhere.
When is the event again?
It's this coming Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
This
at
coming
8
Saturday.
a.m.
Starts at 8. Yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, I love the partnerships that you guys
Yes.
are working with TBH. Even though the executive director is kind of funny. I think it's a great
Funny in a
partnership.
good way. In a good way.
No, funny haha, not funny peculiar.
Okay, funny haha. There we go.
Well,
Yes,
Christina,
yes.
it's great. It's great the job you do. I know, we went to Christina earlier in the year and told her about our predicament with part of what we think the mission of Talento Bilinguist is to promote bilingual
Theater?
and obras, like the Saint Spanish, bilingual obras, which no one else in town does it. So if we don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. And actually, we were the first organization to approach Disney, and Disney owns a lot. And you don't see a lot of these shows, Little Shop of Horrors, Grease. It's all owned by Disney.
ESPN's owned by
That's
Disney.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
ABC
Huge.
is owned by Disney.
And so we went to them and we said, Mr. Disney, I said, we want to do your shows, but we want to do them bilingually. And they were amazed. They said, you know what? We have never been asked to do this. We have never been
Can you
asked
believe that?
Wow.
to do any of our works bilingually. So we're going to start off with Little Shop of Horrors.
That doesn't sound
mean,
right.
And what do you mean doesn't sound right? No, it's Little Shop of Horrors is La Tiendita de Horrores, Little Shop of Horrors. So, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do it in bilingually, and the thing about it, they're letting us localize it. So we're gonna have a spot there with KLBL radio.
Yes.
So
that's
Radio
awesome.
Morales, and
That's
Wow.
cool.
it's
That's how
amazing, So and it's great because it goes back and we're talking about the people that helped build this country.
History, yeah.
The Morales, Mr. and Mrs. Morales were fantastic people. Everybody went to get buried. Well, not that they went. They took them to Morales, the funeral home, and it was
Everybody
like
wanted to get
home.
buried by Morales.
It was like home. I remember when my grandmother passed away in '79. We went, Mrs. Morales, your mom, she said that she remembered my grandmother from the social societies they would have.
Yes.
And we said, my grandmother wanted to be, La Velada for 3 days. That was a tradition. And your mom kept it open for 3 days straight.
Nice.
And we're dying. We're like 3 days, I hadn't taken a shower. But your mom said,
Nothing's
I
changed.
understood, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And they
Nothing's
did it.
changed.
Yeah. So we were there for 72 hours,
Wow.
But it's
Oh
going
my
to be
gosh.
great. And like
It
I
is.
said, we thank Morales for stepping up and providing us with that grant money to do this, because, I mean, nothing happens without money. You know, the best plans, you know, don't come to fruition unless you have the money
Exactly.
behind it.
And that's seed money. That is seed
Exactly.
money, because people are going to see this. It's going to blow up at TBH, and you're going to attract more funding. You're going to have so much more projects at hand. So that's seed money that
Absolutely.
you guys
We're
By the way, we
excited.
have the entertainment from Grease Lightning's here.
Oh.
Oh, is it my hair? Is that what it
Grease
is?
Lightning.
God,
Rico
please, man.
Suarez
What do you need me to
in
do? Jeez, put on a leather jacket? Is that what we're doing
My
here?
goodness.
So they are doing Grease Lightning. You know
Okay.
We're
No.
doing Grease.
that, right? Yeah.
You
TBA.
are.
We're going to do Grease after we do Little Shop of Horse.
Yeah.
So he's the what's his name?
Danny Zuko.
Danny.
Danny
Can I
Zuko.
finish
Zuko, I
watching
like
the
that.
movie before I commit to anything?
I can't believe this guy's never seen
I
Grease.
can't
My
believe that
goodness.
either.
Oh my God, I've seen
wasn't
part
born
of it.
then,
I've seen
so
part of
you
it.
need to tell me a little
Oh,
bit
please.
about
Oh my goodness.
You were in
man,
school
I would
at
love
that
to.
time.
I'd
okay?
love to.
You were in school when that story was being told. So
Okay,
please.
since we are history buffs, as we love history, right? Let's talk a little bit more about the history of the Morales family.
Okay.
So how did your grandparents get started?
So they started in the funeral industry. They, my grandfather's brothers were all funeral directors. They started a funeral home in New Braunfels, Texas, because their father had died, which was my grandfather's father. And they didn't feel like the funeral home honored their heritage. So they decided, well, let's open our own funeral home, and it'll be a Hispanic funeral home. So my grandfather, working there as a young boy, once you reach a certain age, it was your turn to go and create a business for yourself. And
I love that philosophy.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
Yes. So my grandparents got married in San Antonio, and they decided Houston was where they wanted to start their business. And they started Morales Funeral Home in 1931. So next year is 85 years of service to the community. And it was during the Depression. Sometimes they didn't make any money, you know, and
Yeah.
she said we had to trade like
I
food
remember Miss
for
Morales
funerals.
telling me that years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it was very interesting. But my grandfather's dream was to sing. So
Hey,
did you
I
ever
had that
hear him
dream.
sing?
I remember him saying
Yeah.
Who was
so-
his favorite singer?
I don't
We
know
wanted
that
to emulate
himself. I think it was his own voice. But
I remember his voice.
He loved Pedro Infante.
Yes.
I remember that. He loved
okay,
Pedro Infante.
okay.
but I don't remember ever hearing him sing.
You didn't? It was very distinct. It was. You would remember it, so
Okay.
you never heard it then.
Okay.
So that was his dream, and they started like a radio show, from what I understand, on a different radio station, and for 10 years they were trying through, you know, it was a bureaucracy thing that they couldn't just open up a radio station. It took them 10 years. They had to go to Washington, and I have the telegram
Right.
where they approved it, and they finally approved it. And in 1950, on Cinco de Mayo, which was my grandmother's birthday,
Wow.
Wow.
they started the radio station. So it's really cool.
Now, Christine, I think we need to mention also your dad was killed in an accident, right?
No, he was not. No. But he was on the radio station. He just passed away very young.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes,
I
he had
didn't
a-
remember it was an accident or what.
Well, it was
I
a
remember
massive stroke.
was sure- oh, yeah.
But yeah.
And that's how you got involved in it.
Yes, I had
Yeah.
to jump in really early, so
So
I
you're
didn't.
the oldest sibling?
No, I'm the middle one.
Okay.
So
Yay,
the
middle
middle
child.
child. Woo! Yeah. So.
So
yeah.
ambitious.
I took. Yes, we are, aren't we?
I'm the
We,
middle child too.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm a middle child.
That's awesome.
No, I'm the oldest.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
See, he's making fun of everyone.
took-
That's what the older one does.
That's the older one does.
What
Yeah.
did I say?
I took it over at a young age just because, you know, I was the only one willing to take that position. And but it's been very good to me, and it's been a learning process, even 20 years, something years later.
I haven't really looked for it, but is the tower still there? The radio tower?
No.
It was moved?
It was moved,
Okay.
and recently we had to dig up the concrete that was holding the tower. It was unbelievable. The
Was it
worker-
over there by Lawndale?
No, it was actually the main tower was in Pasadena.
Pasadena, okay.
And Pasadena also honored my grandfather by naming an elementary school after him.
Great.
Yeah,
great.
so we do a little bit for them too through the
So the
foundation.
tower in Pasadena was moved somewhere else?
No, it's still there.
It's still there?
Yes,
Okay.
but there was another transmitting tower that was right by the funeral home, and that one was moved.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So, but
Interesting.
yes.
And so to this day, the same station goes on?
It does, but it's now a nonprofit, and we don't have anything to do with it. It was
sold?
Yeah, it was sold.
What
So
year was it sold in?
In 1997, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remember every day at noon they'd say an Our Father and a Hail Mary or something, you know, and I remember running out, everything stopped.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, my dad, he was working in the shop, he'd have the radio on, and you'd have Nombre del Padre,
Yes.
That is
every
super
day at
awesome.
noon. You know, it was
Totally
just great.
cool.
That's one of the memories of my childhood.
My grandmother made that happen because she was a very devout Catholic, and she would listen to the radio station at home, and if it was not at the right time or something, she was calling somebody up and saying, "What happened to the prayer?" You know.
Very demanding.
Yeah.
Now, I say,
You know I own a funeral business.
Yes.
I can put you in the ground pretty quickly.
So that's the kind of woman that she was.
was,
She
yeah.
was
now
awesome.
I know where she gets it from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grandma.
You know, you did
The
not.
stickler.
Right
You did
now.
not tell. She did not hear no very often.
No. She didn't.
Mrs. Morales was a very, very strong woman.
Yeah.
So now that you're semi-retired, so to speak, is there going to be another generation of Morales?
There is. Thank you
Okay.
for
That's
asking.
great.
I brought my nephew in. My children also chose. I mean, the funeral business is not for everyone.
Sure.
I've been doing a lot with the foundation, but my nephew's helping me, and his name's Joe Morales. He's named after my dad.
Wow,
did
So
Joe.
yeah,
great.
yeah. So it's really
How
good.
wonderful to have your namesake there.
Yes. So he's just went through the funeral college.
Okay,
There's a
so-
college for that.
So how old is he?
He is 32.
32. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So
You know, and I
yes.
remember my dad and all the old timers, they all speak so fondly because they were all friends of your dad. They all
Yes.
speak so fondly. Joe Morales. Joe
They
Morales.
loved my dad. He
Yeah.
was actually like a little movie star, you know, because he was on the
Very good-looking
radio, and
man.
all these women were just like, "Oh,
I remember
went
your
on
dad
a
was
date
a
with
very
your
good-looking
dad."
man.
I hate to cut you off, but we have run out of time.
Oh, no, we
Oh.
don't. No, we can go over, Ben.
So we are live every Monday night at 6
Don't forget,
p.m.
this
7
coming Saturday.
At 8 a.m.
Register on TBH.
Yes.
www.tbhcenter.org. Register.
We'll see you next week, 6 o'clock, Monday.
Bye-bye. Awesome.
We were running over that.